an NGO in Ghana,
Okay.
where she provides sanitary towels for girls
Girls.
in schools who can't afford those sanitary towels. So basically what happens to them is that when their period comes, when their monthly cycle comes along, they have to take time off school because they can't go to school because they can't afford the sanitary towel. So that's just a snippet of what we do basically. So supporting young girls and indeed young boys in the community.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's kind of me in a nutshell.
Yeah. Okay, so were you ever in Nigeria? Were you ever in Nigeria?
Oh, absolutely.
So what schools did you go to in Nigeria?
So I mean, obviously, I was born here.
Yeah.
And I went to Nigeria in 1971. And so started off at not Yewande, at Our Lady of Apostles.
Yeah.
Primary school.
Yeah.
In Yaba. And then from there, myself and my siblings went to Yewande Memorial School.
Yeah.
On James Robertson Road in Surulere.
Surulere, yes.
Yes. And it was from there that I then attended secondary school. I went to Methodist Girls High School in Yaba, Lagos.
Okay.
I did my A levels at Baptist Academy. And then from there, I went to University of Lagos. So that
when were you in Unilag? Because I was in Unilag.
Really? I was in Unilag from 84 to 88.
Oh, okay. I got in 1985 or so.
Okay.
I got in 1985. Yeah.
Yeah, I studied Russian language at university.
Oh, so do you know Titi? Titi.
Yeah.
Ejiofor Atalabi.
Yeah.
Bose, I'm sure I know you. Bose, I'm sure I know you.
She was my classmate.
I'm sure I know you because when I got into Unilag in 1985, I squatted with Titi.
With
Titi.
In
Moremi Hall.
Yeah, I was in Moremi Hall as well.
Bose, I know you. I know you.
But I haven't changed my name. So
yeah.
What was your maiden name?
Comedy.
No.
Comedy. So you know Tina Onilogo and the rest of them?
Of course, Tina, Vicky.
Vicky, yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll talk about that later.
Yes.
We'll talk about that later.
We're all in a WhatsApp group together because we're all. Yeah.
With Titi too?
Titi, yes, she's not very vocal in the group, so I don't know if she's in there or not.
Yeah, Titi has always been quiet.
Yes, she was always quiet.
Yes. So you all went to Russia together then?
We went to Moscow together, yes.
Pajalsta. We used to call Titi Pajalsta.
Pajalsta.
Yeah.
How funny. But isn't it a small world though?
Honestly, very small world.
Yes.
Very small world. Oh, wow. Amazing. Amazing. Wow. So Greater Cockite.
Yes, Greater Cockite all the way.
Yes, so all those Ife people and Ilori and all of them, they should all just go and jump in the lagoon.
They don't count. They don't
count at all. At all. Oh wow, what a small world. Wow. Yes. And when we spoke, that time we had a very long conversation. We didn't even go there. We didn't even talk about we just spoke about our children.
Yes.
Oh wow. Wow. So when did you find yourself in London, and what brought you to London?
Well, we came back to the UK. Yes, we came back to the UK when my parents split up.
Oh, okay.
My parents split up after about 25 years of marriage, and my mum came back here, and we just happened to come back with her. Yeah, and it was literally immediately after we graduated uni. So yeah, I came back here. I think at the time, I have to be honest, growing up in Nigeria has its perks in the sense that it helps you, particularly for those of us who were born in diaspora, it enables you to know who you are. You're surrounded by Black people, so you don't experience, to be honest, growing up until the age of 7, I remember being bullied in school for being Black. So, I used to get a good kicking here for the color of my skin. But the fact that I went back to Nigeria to school really helped me in that respect. However, growing up in Nigeria, one of the drawbacks of growing up in Nigeria is that you don't really, you grow up in a bubble. It's kind of, you know, I felt that I grew up in a bubble. You know, we had a fairly privileged life. So, you know, grew up in the bubble where certain things were done in certain ways. You know, the culture says you must do it this way. And so, so the culture kind of puts you in this sort of bubble. And so when I came back here, it became very glaring to me that there was much more to life than this so-called culture that we talked about. And because of that, it was a little bit difficult for me to find my feet initially. But in time, particularly because when I started working, I started to find that a lot of the people that I was working with didn't actually they weren't educated to university level, you know, and so I was very up myself about that, you know, because it was like, don't even be talking to me because you're an illiterate. That's how I used to be in those days. But I grew up fairly sharp, particularly, you know, when life starts to deal with you and you start to deal with life, you realize that actually there's only you know, this life is not just about your perspective, it's about everybody else's as well. And so you know, I started to it took me time, but I started to learn. You know, I started to learn that life it's not just about me. So yeah.
Amazing. You know, what you said about us growing up in Nigeria, being in a bubble, is really, really very true.
Yeah.
Because you're in a bubble, so you're not exposed to other things happening around you. So once you get into another country, there's a kind of culture shock.
Yeah.
So a lot of things begin to happen and you don't understand what is happening, especially when you come to a place like the UK or in America. Things like that, they start bullying you, and then you start fighting back, and then you get into trouble. You get into trouble in school, and then they see you as the aggressive one. So I don't know. It's
well, the thing is, because there's like I said, there's a plus and then there's a drawback. And the plus is, you know who you are. We touched earlier on the fact that I worked in the IT industry for 25 years.
Yes.
Now, we both know that the IT industry is very male dominated. And the past 25 years, maybe it's changing now, but it's very male dominated and it's very white. You know, it's white male. And so a Black woman in that environment, it was quite turbulent, you know, but by virtue of the fact that I grew up in Nigeria, I knew who I was. And so nobody could tell me who I was. I would always stand up to them and let them know that, excuse me, you need to back off because I'm not that person. And you find that, you know, if I hadn't done that, I don't think I would have stayed very long in that industry. So because I knew, I was very confident. I was very confident in my Blackness. I wasn't an all-round confident person, but I was very confident in the color of my skin. And nobody could ever make me feel any less because of the color of my skin. And so and many did try. Many did try. And eventually backed off because they knew that, you know, that, you know, so yes. So that was the plus side. You know, the drawback, as I said before, was more to do with understanding that there are different cultures out there, and also understanding that you got to be able to stand on your own 2 feet. Being taken to school by the driver is different. It's when we go abroad now, when we travel now, and we're weighted on hand and foot when we go abroad. when we come back, it's quickly back to reality that you have to do it on your own, you know.
I know.
So yeah.
Those are part of the culture shocks that one meets when one leaves a place like Nigeria and then comes to this place.
Yes.
You find that you don't have any of those things, and you know you have to do everything yourself. So
yes,
that's part of the culture shock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yes.
And you spoke about confidence. You know, Bose, when I first met you, that was what I saw. Even when you were walking to the toilet, because you know, and I'll talk about how I met you later. But you see, when you were going to the toilet and I was sitting on my seat, you know, I asked you were going. I mean, the way you were even moving, you know, what's confidence written all over you, confidence oozing out, which is really very, very good, you know. And it's only a bold person that's. Anyway, we'll talk about your boldness later.
Yes.
You know, yeah. So now, Bose, you are divorced with a grown-up daughter. You know,
yeah.
I must say you've done very well with your daughter, because
thank you. It's by the grace of God, actually.
Yeah. And she's the only child. I mean, what excuse would you have given? You understand?
Exactly.
Like my senior sister has just one daughter.
Yeah.
And that girl has done so well.
Yeah.
Well brought up and everything. So the thing is that what excuse would you have given if, you know, I mean, so when I saw the pictures of her master's, I mean, her graduation, and I saw you were the one taking the picture.
Yeah.
And when she was walking off, you were now, you know, hailing her, you were cheering her. And she looked back and I said to myself, I said, look, I mean, what excuse would you have given if this girl had turned out the other way? So as a divorcee and a single mom of a grown-up daughter, how has life been being a single parent?
I'm going to be honest with you. When you said that I was exuding confidence earlier on, it's not always that way.
I know.
When I left my ex-husband, I became very adamant about what I wanted for my daughter. My daughter was 1 when I left him.
Oh wow, that's a long time ago.
Yeah. And I mean, we were together for 11 years, but you know, my daughter was 1 when I left him, and I had decided at that point that I'd always known that once I had children, my children had to go to private school. That was that was the first thing. And so in my mind, I thought, okay, so what is it that I can do that's going to give me that kind of money? And back in those days, IT was an emerging market. So her godfather used to run these Sunday classes. I was talking to him about it the other day. He used to run these Sunday classes out of his living room back in the day in the UK here. So I used to attend those. And basically those, because her godfather is an IT guru. And he used to run these classes to help people who wanted to get into IT industry. And then following that, I took an IT degree. All this time she was still very young. But when it came time for her to start nursery school, I got a job and I was studying at the same time. And it was not easy. A lot of the time we would be living on credit because my whole salary would go to pay her school fees. And then I'll use my credit cards to buy her uniforms and buy food and things like it was very tough. I always say to people that I remember when in the evening when we're both coming in from work and I picked her up from school, I'll bring her indoors, sit her in front of the telly, put on Nickelodeon or whatever it was they were watching back in those days. And I've got my letters because I would have picked them up from downstairs as I'm coming up. So I'll sit her down, shut the door, and then go to the kitchen and shut the kitchen door and then start opening the letters, red letters. Demands. And then when I finish opening all of them, I throw my hands up in the air, and then I'll be rolling on the floor crying. I laugh about it now because it seems really funny now, but in those days, it was like, who is going to help me? But God was always there. Even when I didn't know it, I feel like God was always there because I got through it was like climbing one step at a time. and it was tough. You know, people, even then, people would look at me and if I complained, and they would say, "Ah, kilon shewo," like, what's wrong with you? But you know, it's not everything that's going on in your life that you talk about.
Yes, yes.
So it was a hard slog, but I was also graced with very, very wonderful people. God put so many good people around me. I talked about Timi's godfather, and his wife, her godmother as well. Both of them. I mean, she grew up as their last born, so to speak. And that, you know, her children, their children are like my children. You know, they refer to me as a second mummy, and you know, and vice versa. So she had that. She had interaction with those kids as she was growing up. So she didn't feel like she was alone, even though she was an only child. And so there was that. And then the schools that she went to, I made sure her nursery school and her primary school education were in predominantly Black private schools where everybody was Black. They were owned by it was owned by a Black woman, and it was run by Black teachers. And because I did not want my daughter to have
to be bullied,
go through anything that was from her Blackness, you know, so that's those were the struggles of those days. And really, to be honest, I suppose if I hadn't decided to send her to private school, it might have been a bit easier. But I felt that was the best investment that I could put in her, is you know, because I feel like when you start your education, the very first foundation is the key.
Very key.
You know, it's the key, and it follows you for the rest of your life.
Yes,
so,
yes.
Not easy. It was a struggle. You know, I had years of, and not only am I fighting to pay my bills, I'm fighting to basically stand my grounds with people at work. And when people at work come at you and bully you, it can mess with your head. But I never ever backed down. And I was very lucky. All the people that I've worked with over the years, bosses that I've had, you know, it's been, I think it's been a tremendous grace of God, really. Because I did have struggles, you know. I went through a bout of depression even at some point, which kind of nearly grounded me. But please look at me today.
We thank God, though. We thank God. So her dad didn't even come to help at all?
No.
No. All is well that ends well.
Yeah. Amen.
Yes, yes. All right. So you've been into the IT industry for over 25 years. Are you still in?
I am. Yes. I'm
still in. Okay. So you combine it with your broadcasting on radio.
I do. I do.
Okay.
Do consulting work.
Okay.
And the radio thing is I'd only do at the weekends, Saturdays and Sundays. Although I haven't done this weekend, but usually Saturdays and Sundays I do the radio.
Yeah, I know, because of this interview you said you would.
Yes.
Thank you very much for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So let's just pause a bit to say hello to our friends online. D-Slick.
Yeah, I don't know who D-Slick is.
D-Slick. I like Bose. D-Slick says, I'm loving your conversation and knowing a lot about you. Much respect. That's from D-Slick.
Thank you.
Then we have Truly Abby. That's okay. Bumi Dairo. Bumi, you know, Bumi and I were in I'm sure they're tired of hearing it on this my Instagram live. We're in primary school together. We
went to secondary school and Unilag together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So I've known Bumi for ages.
Yes.
Yeah. Esosa of life. That Esosa girl of life said she's finally seen an old girl of Yawande Memorial.
Oh wow.
Yes. Yeah. Well, Yawande Memorial. So we have Plan B Clothing. That's Ifenywa, my friend. Then we have GB for live, for GB for real. We have Quincy. We have Yasmin.
Okay. I know
we have Yasmin. We have Pastor B, CCB7. We have Omoyeni. So I'd like to say hello to all of you and welcome to the show. We have Fumi Jagun, my dear friend, also from primary school. We have VAP Mom. We have oh my God, sorry. Yeah.
Got loads of people.
Yeah, we have, yes. Yes, we have Maria, we have Oladayo, and and some other people. Welcome and thank you for joining in. God bless you.
Yes.
Yes, you said so, Bumi. Yeah, you said so. Yeah, so now, how have you been able to combine your IT work with your broadcasting? Does it interfere?
No,
it doesn't.
It doesn't. When I think it was in 2018, I got made redundant from my job.
Okay.
And at the time, I was a technical lead on a project.
Okay.
And I was enjoying that project actually, and I didn't leave immediately. Obviously, they kept me on until the end of the project. But people kept asking, so what are you going to do when you leave here? What are you going to do? And I said, well, I'm going to take a break from working for a bit, but I would also like to be able to get some radio experience. So I'm going to start looking at that. And, you say it to as many people as you possibly can, because that's what they ask you. And I said it to this lady one day, and she said, I think I might know someone that might be able to help you. And so she put me in touch with this lady, whom we call Amazing Grace. And the rest is history. So Amazing Grace works on this radio station. It's a community radio, slam radio. And so she invited me to do some of her shows with her. So I would, her shows were sort of like discussion shows. And so I would, so I would go to the station. Back then we used to go into the station, into the radio station. So I'd do some of her shows with her. And then we used to have meetings every last Tuesday of the month. Like the whole radio station would come together. And the owner of the radio station said one day, I just wish we had someone who could do Afrobeats music. And then he looked directly at me. So I laughed. By then I'd never ever DJ'd before in my life. Okay. So I said, I don't mind doing it. I said, but I saw the schedule, and the vacant times that you have on a Saturday will not suit me, because if I have a party to do, or if I have a party to go, that party is going to be my priority.
Yes.
So and I think that time was probably about 4 to 6 on the schedule. He said, oh no, that schedule is wrong. The time that I have available is 2 to 4. I said, oh, okay, I think I could manage that. So he gave me a trial. And I remember when I went to the station to do my show, I had all my music on my iPhone, because that's all the Afrobeats I knew were on my iPhone. So I took that to the station and did my first show playing my music off of my iPhone. And funny enough, he texted me towards the end of the show and said, oh, you've got this slot, because it's quite a prime time slot, 2 to 4 on a Saturday afternoon. So I've been doing it since then. And I progressed by sort of getting my laptop, and I don't use decks. The decks that I use are virtual decks, which are on my laptop. So and then of course when the pandemic came, we had to stop going into the radio station. I was fortunate enough to be able to invest in my own equipment. Yeah. I started streaming my music, my shows from home. And so it doesn't interfere with my daytime job, because I do that Monday to Friday.
Okay, and then this is a weekend one.
And this is a weekend one, yes. And I don't get paid for it, by the way.
Oh, you don't get paid for it? Why? How come?
Well, because it's community radio.
Oh, okay. Okay.
If I have endorsements, I think I would get paid if I had endorsements. So people advertising on the show, if I bring in people to advertise and things like that, that is how I would probably monetize.
Okay,
yeah. But also, I mean, I don't look. I also look at it as using this to build my portfolio.
Yes.
Because you do have to have experience. You can't just walk into any radio station and say,
yes.
You know, you have to have some sort of experience. And
yeah.
whilst I'm definitely have no interest in walking into mainstream UK media. That is not my calling at all. But I would like to be able to work on radio stations that do promote blackness. Yes. Even if, and because I can stream from remotely, I should be able to also connect to radio stations in Africa, in the Caribbean, or in America, you know, wherever the situation may take me. So that is ultimately is what I'm looking to do, is what I want to do when I hang up my corporate boots, for sure. Yeah.
That's good. So that Sleek was saying that Weekend Plus, the party you have to go to. So I was going to ask you, whenever you have your parties, do you know we can't see you because you're behind the scenes. We can't see you because you're speaking from the radio. So are you usually in your headgear and your clothes if you have a party to go to?
It depends on timing. Like if it's something that I have to leave immediately after the show, then I'd definitely be dressed, ready to go, whilst I'm doing the show. But in many cases, you know, I usually have a few hours after the show to get ready and go. So
and you're very fast in dressing up. Unlike me, I waste a lot of time when I'm dressing up.
I don't. Well, I'm very realistic when I give my time. I have a friend who will say to me, "I'll be ready in 1 hour." And I'll tell her, no, you won't.
That's me.
It takes more than 1 hour.
That's me.
It takes me more than 1 hour, you know, so it takes, you know, and I know if I give myself 2 hours, depending again on what I'm doing with my hair, if I'm doing my afro, then I have to give myself at least 2.5 hours. With hair like this, I don't need to do much. So that means 2 hours. So, you know, I'm usually quite on point when I give myself time, because and number one, I don't like to be late, and number two, I don't like waiting on people, and I don't like people waiting on me. So
it's only God that will deliver me from late coming. I'm always late too. Someone even joked that, Sheke, I'm sure you'll be late for your own funeral. You know? Yeah. So do you talked about emceeing events. So you MC events?
Yes, I've emceed a few events.
Yeah, that's good.
Yes, like I said, with the women's global team, that was, well, the very first event that I emceed in actual fact was when my friend turned 50. My friend, Timmy's godmother, she's a bit older than me, and when she turned 50, she asked me to MC her party. So that was the very first one that I did. Needless to say, I mean, it wasn't that great, but you know, we modeled a lot. But then as time went on, you know, I kind of did little bits here and there, children's parties and things like that. And then for the global team, the global women's team, my big sis asked me to MC that, and it just flowed. So I did any event that she has here, I would MC or co-MC. And when she turned 60 in 2019, I emceed. That was a blast. Be good. Yeah. And I do some MG things as well sometimes, you know.
Okay. I've never really emceed an event before, but last in I think it was in December, first week of December. A family friend of ours, she came in from Nigeria. Her son was going to get married. I mean, it was like a form of introduction. So she asked me, I mean, I had never done it before. She asked me to come and do it. And I said, look, I don't speak Yoruba very well. She said, no, it's English, that they are not Yorubas, that it's English. So I came in, and well, everyone said I did a fantastic job.
There you go.
You know, sometimes when you talk, when you are an on-air personality, sometimes these things come in very easy.
Yeah.
But now that I know that you MC events, we'll put that into our so that.
Yeah.
Pass the mic. You were great. Oh yeah, she said so.
Oh, who said
that? So. Umi.
Yes, I did do the pass the mic.
Yeah.
Incidentally, I mean, a lot of once I started doing the radio shows and sending the links out to people.
Yeah.
I started DJing parties on Zoom during the lockdown. I'd never done it before, and for some reason, people felt that I could do it, and so I started doing that, you know, which wasn't too bad. You know, sometimes I'd have technical issues, but generally speaking, not too bad. And then when we had because you know, we in MG, we're very resourceful, and we like to have lots of events and entertain people. And so we did this Pass the Mic, I think it was 2021, and hopefully we'll be doing another one this year. And so I did the intro.
Okay.
For it, yeah. So,
okay. What's the Pass the Mic about? What's it all about?
Well, I think last year's theme was about love, I think.
Okay.
And so basically what we do is we have a number of ladies who pick different songs. They pick a song, and they mime to the song. They lip sync to the song, so you can hear the music and they're lip syncing to it, and they're dancing. Okay. You know, it's just like a little performance. So yes, and I think last year we had about 8 or 10 ladies, I think. Okay. And the theme was about love, so it was various songs about love. So I just did a quick intro to that and introduced each of the ladies as they yeah.
Like DJ Cassidy's Pass the Mic.
Exactly.
Someone asked, Esusa asked, and Bumi has answered her.
It was exactly like that. Yeah, yeah.
You know what? One of our top Nigerian DJs too is doing that Pass the Mic thing too.
Okay.
He's doing DJ, the popular DJ. What's his name again? His name has gone off my head. But he's doing it now with Nigerian artists. That's gone cool. The old artist, and he's doing exactly what DJ Cassidy is doing.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah, and that guy is my friend. He must not know that I forgot his name. He's a very well-known DJ now. In fact, he's the #1 DJ in Nigeria.
Is he?
Yes.
I'd love to know who that is, because I don't know.
I don't know. Hey, how can I forget his name? Let me check.
You know, I grew up when I was growing up in Nigeria, I grew up listening to DJs like Jacob Akiemi Johnson.
Yes.
I think it was Condi, and there was another guy.
Yes, DJ Jimmy Jats. That's his name.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Bear that in mind.
Yeah.
And yeah, I shall bear that in mind.
Yeah, DJ Jimmy Jats.
But I did love Jacob Akiemi Johnson.
He's still there.
He's
still in Rhythm FM. You know, he moved from Federal Radio Corporation. He moved to he's still there. Yeah, he's still there. He's still there. He's still there. He's even an Oga there. I think he was the GM as a last count, but I don't know.
Oh, right.
But he's still there. He's still there.
And then I think there was a Shegun Bokna. I think he was based in Ibadan. I can't remember what the radio station was.
Is it Adigbite or something Adigbite?
No, it was Bokna, Shegun Bokna.
Okay.
Yeah,
they had some good DJs in Ibadan too.
Oh yeah, but JJ, he was the best.
He was the best. It was good.
Yeah,
it was good. I remember that I used to listen to his program a lot as a very young child. Radio. I used to listen to him a lot.
Yeah, that's where we learned a lot of our music.
Yes, and he played fantastic music. Yes.
Oh yes, it was fantastic.
Yeah, he played fantastic music. Yeah. Yeah. So now, tell us. So when you were in the office, you told us that you had a bit of people trying to prove that they were better than you and all that. So you really sorted that out.
Yeah. I mean, yes. I mean, in the job that I do now, I'm a contractor, so I don't actually have that sort of dynamic at all.
Yeah.
But the job I was doing before that, I mean, I was there for 12 years. And to be honest, I was the queen in that place. I wouldn't lie, because I was the only female in the team. I was the help desk manager there, and it was a nice little team. You know, we got on really well, and I was the face of IT, actually.
Okay.
Because I was a woman, and people tend to, you know, when you don't work in IT but you're a user, some people have anxiety when it comes to information technology, and so many thought coming to a woman to talk to them about what problem they're having was better for them. They used to be nervous about going to the men, so they would come to me. You know, so I had a good innings at that place, to be honest, because I didn't have anybody breathing down my neck. The one person who tried got sacked.
Wow. You prayed that person away.
I did.
Our African prayer, mountain of fire kind of prayer.
No, I don't do mountain of fire, but I definitely do. My Psalms are my rock. Like that. When this guy was there for 18 months, he was the head of IT, and I mean, to be honest, from day one, from the first time I spoke to him, I thought, this guy doesn't know jack, doesn't know squat. And I used to basically, I would challenge him when he said things, because sometimes he would just say things and I would challenge that. And he would then start off saying things like, don't think because you're a woman, you won't have to do this or do that. And I said, I've been doing it from before you came here, so why will I stop doing it now? You know, and he was my boss, but it became quite a lot. But what I used to do is that when I get to the entrance of that building, I start to recite Psalm 91. Oh my God, that was that was what I used to do. I would recite Psalm 91 because I knew it off by heart. And 1,000 shall fall at our side and 10,000.
Yeah.
You know, and because I used to have to sit next to him, his seat was next. You know. But one day, you know, I didn't go to work. I hurt my back, so I didn't go to work on the Monday. I had sent word that I wasn't going to be in. And then on Monday, around about 11 o'clock, people from work, you know, that had my personal number were texted me and asking, what's going on? Why aren't you at work today? I said, because I'm off sick. So what's going on in your team today? I was like, what do you mean? And they said, well, your boss has just been walked off the building. I was like, what?
Praise God.
He was frog marched out. So then I called another manager in the team, but he didn't want to say much. And I asked my daughter when she got back from school, because I hurt my back to the point that I couldn't walk unaided. Yeah. So I asked my daughter when she came back from school, I said, go to the chemist and see if you can get me some crutches. I'm going to work tomorrow. And she got me the crutches and I went into work the following day. And it turns out he was sacked.
Your victory was that you were not there to see him marched out of the office. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't, I mean, you didn't see, not your victory. I mean, you didn't see him being walked out of the office.
Oh, yeah.
It would have been so good for you to see him.
I mean, it would have been, but maybe I would have cheered and it wouldn't have been a good look. So that's why I had to be at home when that happened. I don't know. But
anyway, God has his way.
The fact, because at that point I was actually contemplating leaving.
Oh.
Because of him. But God had a different story on that one. He had different plans, and that guy was walked out. And it made me realize that actually you have to pray for your enemies no matter what.
Yes, very, very important. That's what the Psalms are all about.
Yes, never try to seek vengeance, because vengeance is mine, says the Lord. So
yes,
just deal with it. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, so I want to talk about your boldness now. The first time I met you, Bose, my friend Bumi, our friend Bumi, we were at a function, and our friend Bumi said we were sitting at a different table. In fact, when we entered, when we came in together, because we both came to the event together. We both when we got in,
men actually, yeah.
Pardon?
I think I saw, because Bumi came to meet us at our table.
Yes.
Yeah, and then you went off to another table.
To another table. So yeah. Bumi now said, look, Sheke, I'll keep my bag here, but I have some friends. So I'll sit in the two places. So she sat down with me for a while, then got up and came to meet you. Then about maybe 20, 30 minutes later, she now came to me and said, Sheke, come, let me take you to go and meet some people. So she now took me to meet the she took me to see the Shomolu twins, who are my favorite twins. They were my very first guest on Adoni's Parlor.
Okay.
Cool. Yes. I really hounded them and they agreed to be interviewed. In fact, they were just wondering that what is it all about? What is this your Adoni's Parlor? I had to explain myself. Anyway, they eventually agreed to come on. So she now took me to go and see them. And I was so excited to see them. And then as I was saying hello to them, I just saw you and your big hair. So I just came straight to you. And I said, I love your hair. And I had never, well, I'm very sure we had met when we were in Unilag, but as at that time, I just felt that I hadn't met you before. So I just came up to you and I said, I love your hair. And I'm sure you were not expecting it, because I admire people who are bold, people who are different, I always admire such people. I'm a woman and I have no reason to be envious or jealous of anybody. So anytime when I admire something, if I admire a fellow woman like myself, I just walk up to that person and I tell the person that, look, I just like what you're wearing. I love your hair and everything, So I just walked up to you and I said to you, look, I love your hair, And then Bumi now came and introduced us. And then I sat down beside you and we started chatting. She had told me that you have a radio station. Then we started chatting and that, So then that was when I now said I would love to interview you. Yeah. So exchange numbers.
Yes.
And then I saw you again going to the toilet and I just felt, oh my God. See how she's walking. And your hair was so big. I mean, it's only someone, I thought you were going to do that hair. It's only someone that has confidence that will carry that kind of hair, honestly. And your dress was short.
It wasn't too short, mind.
But it was mini.
What was I wearing that day, actually?
I think you had a mini dress on and boots, I think.
I had on boots. I'm trying to remember what I was wearing on that day, actually. I can't remember what I was wearing. Oh, yeah, it was just a black dress. Yeah.
Yeah, mini, but it was mini.
It was just above the knee.
But you see, you told us your age when we first started,
Yes.
And for somebody, because you see, I tell you that once you cross that age 50, the beauty begins to diminish. Because youth is no longer there, so your beauty diminishes, and quite a number of people in their 50s, in the mid 50s and over, they begin to lose confidence, but not you.
I think my confidence has increased, and I don't believe that you begin to lose beauty once you hit 50. Sorry,
it's the outer beauty. I mean, because youth is no longer. I mean, your outer beauty.
Of course.
Yeah.
So yes, I agree that the youth. I believe that I personally have a very youthful disposition. And that is what it is. When I look back and remember our parents at my age now, they were behaving like old people.
Yes.
And I can't do that. I cannot, there's no way on God's earth I can do that. I mean, okay, I know that I'm not a child. I know I'm not in my 20s or in my 30s. I know I'm a big woman. But I'm sorry, when I step out, I step out with grace, and it's age appropriate, but I will never look old. Lie.
I mean that day, I just saw it, I said, look at this woman. Even the way you were walking, you were going to the toilet. So I said, are you going? You said, no, you're going to ease yourself or something. And then your hair was just moving behind you.
Lie. Well, my mother said, she said once, she's quite old, she's 85 now, and she said to me one day, she said, when we are praying to live longer lives, we should also remember to pray for ability and agility and good health when we are in our old age. As a result of that, I tend to say, when I'm praying to God, because nobody knows tomorrow. In my prayers for long life and prosperity, I also pray for the ability that I will still be doing boot camp when I'm in my 80s, and be doing exercise and be running and walking, and everything will be in good working order, because that really is the true blessing, And so now, all the vices that I used to have, I'm dropping them one by one now, because this is the time to start putting back. When you're young, you can burn the candle at both ends. You drink, some even smoke, and all that sort of stuff. But it gets to a point in your life, if you really, but once you start transitioning, I mean, I'm going to be 60 in a couple of years. When you get to that point, and if you still think that you want to be really caning your body that hard, then that's on you. But I feel like when I'm in my old age, I want to be looking supple and nice, and just be bringing. So therefore, certain things you've just got to stop. Yeah.
So we have some funny comments on the Bose. We have some very funny comments on this thing.
Mm-hmm.
See, Daslik, what's your real name?
I know him.
Okay.
I know who he is. Yes. Okay.
Yes. He laughs and says, "Trying to be humble, yeah, Bose. Bose dresses elegantly always. Fashion mama." Then
I've known him for years.
This one said, "Bose, you have to show us this your walk."
I don't know. I actually don't know this walk that you're talking about, but I was just walking gingerly so I wouldn't fall off my high heel boots,
Yes. And Truly Abby, Bumi says, yes, boots, a black short dress. And then, a black short dress. That's a mini dress. It was a mini dress. It was a mini dress for Sheke. That's VIP mom. Yes, now. It was a mini dress now. No, but once you are different. Once you are different, your dress sense is different, and it's unusual and nice. May I admire that person? That person will not pass me by. I would go up to the person.
Thank you.
And say, I just like what you're wearing. I just can't hold myself. I must go and meet that person and say, I love what you're wearing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, so supple, that's what I want to.
Yes.
That's a VIP mom. So, Boss has just told us that as we age, Kosarubonga now.
Kosarubonga now. Not on my watch. Nope.
Yes, so it's forever. No. This our generation is different.
Our generation is different.
Our generation is different, yeah.
And I like to push the boat out. I'm sorry. I like to push the ticket. I can't. I get bored very easily, and so if I'm not busy, and busy does not necessarily mean cleaning and tidying up. Busy could mean anything from doing a radio show to either learning something new or sewing or what have you. I like looking at YouTube channels to look at different hairstyles and all sorts. I'm very much like that. I have a sewing machine that I need to teach myself to use, because I feel like there's not enough out there to accommodate my taste. So, there's all sorts of things, and as we get older, we need to really probably embark more on our creativity, because it's there, you want to express yourself creatively.
Yes. Daslik again, black boots and red lipstick. Women love that. Who is Daslik?
You're right, bro.
Daslik. It's true. It's true. It's good. It's good. All right. So, Toro can help with sewing. That's my sister.
Is she here in the UK?
Yeah, she's in the UK, and she's.
Please, let's get in touch, because I'm that person. When I was going to Ghana, I decided that I wasn't going to buy anything, and I had some things made because I have so much material. You know, over the years, you gather all sorts of Ankara, aces, and I don't like Iran Buba. I feel like it makes me look older than I am.
Yeah, yeah.
So all the Iran Buba that I have them changed into something different. You know, and so you know, I have a tailor, and you know, I went to see her, and she did a lot of that for me. So I've decided that in 2022, I might buy one or two things, but generally speaking, I have to make things. You know, and that's my plan for 2020.
Just to keep busy, part of keeping busy.
Keeping busy, and also keeping my look unique. I believe in keeping my. I don't particularly like seeing other people wearing what I'm wearing. You know, so
even your hair. Look at your hair. Your hair. You have white. It's white, right?
Yes,
white,
the hairpiece. Yeah, white plaits. The thing is, what happened was that when obviously we were in Ghana over Christmas, and you can't go to places like Ghana and Nigeria and not do your hair.
True.
You have to do your hair. So when it came time for me to do the hair, I think, what kind of hair do I want to do? And I always find that when I have, during the lockdown, I used to do faux locks, you know, because I could do it myself. But what happens is that when you do black hair and then you've got gray hair growing, so then you have to keep coloring in that gray hair to match the black. So I decided that I'm going to do gray hair. I know it's not going to make me look old because, you know, it's all the rage. And that way, when the gray hair is growing, I don't have to worry because it will just match the hairpiece, and that will be that. So that's how comes I did this. And they came to me. I asked them to come and see me at my hotel, and they did.
They did it. You know, they do hair. They do hair better. The Ghanaians do hair better than they do hair in Nigeria. They do.
Nope.
I'm telling you that they do.
I'm telling you.
Ghanaians and their whatever, they do hair.
I'm telling you.
You know this thing that you have on, we call it Ghana weaving in Nigeria.
But yes, but in Nigeria, I mean, I have a photo. My daughter was very young then, where I did this hairstyle, but in Nigeria. You know, they do hair in Nigeria as well. I mean, I grew up in Nigeria too. I always used to go and get my hair done, plaited. You know, they do hair in Nigeria. Yes, they do hair in Ghana, but also in Nigeria. Ghana and Nigeria. It is here in the UK. They're not that great.
That's the Ghanaians or Nigerians?
Both. I can't tell the difference. A lot of these days, you know, everybody speaks English, so you don't know what's what. But the fact is, I find that the edges, you know, I'm very particular about my edges, so I don't let people pull my edges anyhow.
Yeah.
But here in the UK, if you're not careful, I know many people who have grown up or lived plaiting their hair here in the UK, and they lose all their edges
and become Yaiko.
Yes, they become Yaiko. I don't, you know, so they lose that, and you know, and so because of that, I've been very cautious. I used to plait my hair once in a while here, but then I stopped. Particularly when the whole phenomenon of crochet braids came out, because I can do that myself. I don't need anyone to do that for me. So, but you go to Ghana or Nigeria, you have to plait your hair.
True. So, Bose, now you said you are a community mother.
Yes.
So, what do you mean? What do you mean by that?
Is that I have many. When I talk about my children from other mothers, you know, there are many young ones who look at me as a mother of sorts, you know, and they would, you know, I have daughters who may be having issues with their mum, and they come and talk to me about it, and I will tell them, look, this is how it is, or this is what you need to do. The same with sons and things like that as well. So that is what I mean when people refer to me as a community mother.
Okay.
You know, I will certainly, I would never, ever, ever turn anyone away if they needed help. And I will do whatever is in my power. I have a dear sister also who passed away.
Oh, man, so rest in peace.
Yes. And her kids, you know, I remember her children. I remember her saying, you know, it was expected. She had cancer and she was passing away. And she said to me, she said, you know, so will you be there for my children when I'm not here?
Oh.
You know, I said, what kind of question is that to ask? I would always be. And one of them, I spoke to her at the turn of the new year. And she said, you know, it's so nice that, you know, that you're like a mother figure in our lives and all that. So that really kind of made me, you know.
Good. Yeah.
But yes, and a lot of, I remember last year when my birthday, I think we were just coming out of lockdown, I think, or we were still in, you know, we were halfway in, halfway out. Anyway, my daughter took me out to eat at the Roof Gardens in Madison Roof Gardens in St. Paul's, and it was a very hot day. It was a really nice day, and so we went to this Roof Gardens, and it was like that whole place was just like being in Ibiza. Basically, it was
very hot.
It was hot. The music, there was cocktails, and you know, the food was brilliant and all of that. And then when we finished from there, she said, "Oh, my friends are in a wine bar down the road. Should we go and see them before we go?" So I went in there and sat down with them, and I never feel out of place when I'm amongst the younger ones.
Yeah.
You know, they invite me into their circle. You know, we talk because they're all adults as well. You know, so we talk men and talk about things. And you know, somebody said to me, "So do men get better as they get older?" I said, "No, you just have to train them, love." You know, so it's true. You just have to train them.
True.
So yeah, so that's what I mean. You know, I do. I look out for those. I particularly I love the young adults now, because they were kids that I saw growing up, and it's nice to see them doing things. And some of them, you know, some of them have hiccups along the way, but they basically turn it around and they move on and they grow, and they, you know, and it's nice to see that. It's nice to see that.
Yeah, because you're young at heart, so they will tell you everything. Yes. They will tell you everything happening to them, you know, because the young ones have a way of hiding things, especially if they see that they feel that you're going to criticize them. You know?
Yes, for a long time, I have a son from another mother who always felt, you know, anytime he spoke to me, he always felt apologetic. I said, "Don't apologize, darling, because, you know, you're growing. You know, you already know where you are. You know, there's nobody in this life." I always tell people that if you knew me as a younger person, maybe you would, because I was very bad. I was very bad. I didn't mean to be bad, but I was bad. You know, growing up in Nigeria, a lot of the stuff I did was underground. You know, I was no saint. You know, so
none of us were saints.
I was no saint.
Well, I wasn't.
Exactly, and I always tell these kids that you think you're bad. You're not bad, please. If you get caught, you're not bad. So, you know, it's when you don't get caught, that's when we know that you're bad. You know, so I embrace all of them. I embrace all of them, whatever happens, you know, because I know that they're not bad at heart.
Yes.
You know,
and eventually they will even outgrow it.
They outgrow it, yeah.
Now, there was something that you said that they ask you that do men change as they grow older? You know, my mind went somewhere else. You know, I'm a bad girl. My mind went somewhere else. I thought it was, I mean, they were asking you about sex.
No.
Character-wise, okay.
Yes.
That's where my mind went to. I just said, let me confess. let me just confess, yeah.
Oh,
you know, yeah. So funny. So, Bose, how do you relax? What's your me time? How do you relax? What do you do to relax?
I love watching. Oh, I'm a TV buff. And when I say that, I don't just watch any old rubbish that they spout off on live TV.
You see, it's not only me. Oh, Bose, it's not only me.
Yeah.
See, Bose, it's not only me that their mind went to sex. So
I don't know why your minds went to sex. But...
It's not only me. Okay, sorry to interrupt you. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I'm a TV buff, but I don't watch any old rubbish that is spouted off on it. Like, I don't watch the news for starters. I stopped watching the news during the 2020 lockdown. After that whole George Floyd thing and the pandemic, you know, it really it was affecting me mentally, and so I decided, right, I don't have to watch this news. If anything is important, something will pop up on my phone from the BBC app, and then I'll follow it that way. So, but I watch a lot of Netflix. I watch a lot of Prime. You know, all these providers. I tend to do box sets. I do lots of box sets and movies. That for me is how I relax. Although I've been told that's not relaxation. But that to me, that I'm always
no, like, but it depends on the film. I mean, it's like for my husband. My husband likes to watch films. He watches anything, and it relaxes him. That's how he relaxes. So,
yeah, that's how I unwind.
Yeah,
you know, that is how I unwind. So I do I love comedy. I love thrillers. I used to watch a lot of horror movies back in the day, but I don't anymore, because I found that those horror movies were affecting me, and I didn't care in those days, but I care now. So I stopped those. I love live music. You know, last year I was able to see Wizkid and Burna Boy. And I went to see Dave Chappelle, which I absolutely loved. So those are the sort of things for me.
You know, Asha is going to be in the UK in March.
I heard. In fact, I need to see if I can get tickets, because I love her. I love her music. She's great, actually.
She's
yeah.
coming. She's coming in March. Yeah,
I saw that. Yeah. So I'm going to see if I can get tickets for that. And please, if you get tickets, let me know.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, no problem.
So, yeah, so those are the things that I like to do. I also like to, sometimes I make jewelry. Sometimes I mean, I don't draw, but I like to look at things and see if I can make something look, you know, particularly with clothing and things like that.
Yes.
You know, so it just depends. I like, but when you're talking about proper relaxing, that's what that to me, if I don't have to work and I'm relaxing, like when I was in Ghana, I was just by the pool all the time, you know, in the sun, you know, maxing and relaxing. That's yeah,
it's good.
And then I like the odd spa break, you know. I'm a member of another group called the Women Support Group, and last year we had a spa break, which was absolutely fantastic. We went to this place in Kent, which was really, really good. It was super.
Yeah. That Slick is asking, do you sing like your lovely daughter?
I sing, but she sings better. She sings better.
Yeah, that's nice.
So you see, the Slick, I've known him for several years. He's my daughter's godfather's friend. And when her godfather's daughter got married in 2017, Timmy sang at the wedding with the band. And he was there. D Slick was there. And everybody was fighting over themselves that they were going to be her manager, and he said he wanted to be her manager as well. Yeah.
That's nice. So I was going to ask you that, are you thinking of remarrying?
I would love to remarry when the right person comes along.
Because I know one auntie that got married. In fact, I know
quite a few people age who have got married in the past few years, and it gives me hope.
Bose, but you don't have any issues. I'm sure you have a lot of toasters.
I don't actually.
You don't go out?
Not often. I mean, there's been a pandemic, so...
Yeah, true.
You know, I don't know. Sometimes, you know, I do.
They want to see what you're wearing, you know. Can we see what she's wearing?
Who is this?
Bose, is Ireti? Ireti too was at that place. Ireti?
It's a long black dress with...
You see, you're wearing something unusual. Look at your sleeves.
Honestly.
Oh my God. Ireti, Tracy is asking that what place in Kent, please? Where you went for the spa thing.
It was called, I'll tell you right now, because we went last year and we said we would go again. I'm going to actually put that out there with the guys and see if we can do it again. Bear with me one second. I shall tell you. It was really really nice. And we had they had a sort of like an astro pool.
Okay.
It was beautiful. Like that astro pool, really, it was like you get under the thing and it just beats your back like a massage. It was fantastic. You know, we all had fun. It was a very relaxing time, actually. When I find it, I'll let you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So someone is asking about what you're wearing, the top.
It's a dress.
They said, what if it's only the top parts?
It's
a dress.
Okay, it's a dress. It's just a long dress.
Okay.
And those are the sleeves. Yeah, that's all it is. Yeah.
The sleeves makes it unusual.
Yes, in fact, this is what made me buy the dress because of the sleeves. Yes. Would you ever embrace online dating? I've tried it before. Man, I'm not that adventurous.
They will vet. I'm sure they vet the people. They vet the people that. Sometimes when I'm watching television, I see there's this advert. I don't know what it's called. I will send it to you. I see it. It's online dating. Yeah. I'm sure they vet the people.
Yeah, I've done it before, actually. I think it was Match.com I did. And, I mean, I met a few people, but I'm still single.
It takes time now.
I met a few people. But after a while, I thought I just was not interested. I couldn't hack it. It was just too much. I couldn't. Yeah. You know, I didn't feel like it was organic. You know.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like it was organic. I felt it was very contrived, and as a result, I lost interest. I mean, I'm still friends with some of the guys that I met today, but I wasn't feeling it at all.
Amazing. Trendsetter, Auntie Bose, Yasmin Tog.
That's my daughter from another mother.
Oh, nice.
Lou, that's Lou. Yes.
Amazing. So, Bose, what advice do you have for all of us listening today and the younger ones?
I have when I do my show, there's a book that I normally read from, and I said that if I got the chance, I would read from it today. So today is, what's the date today? It's the 16th.
Today is
it's 16th. The 16th of January. So let me see here. Okay, so what I'm going to read, this is...
Sorry, Boss, give me 1 second, please. 1 second. Can you reduce the volume, please?
Happy, yes.
Sorry about that.
Not at all.
Yeah.
So what was your question to me again?
Yeah, I said, how would you want to be remembered, and what advice do you want to give
Well,
us?
well, I would like to be remembered as somebody who elevates other people and supports others, and somebody who only speaks when they have something to say. You know, I mean, I like talking, but over the years, I found that just talking is not very fruitful if you don't have anything to say. And that's why when I started doing my radio shows, there's this book that I have here, which is, it's called The Acts of Faith, and it's daily meditations for people of color. And I read
Acts of what?
It's called Acts of Faith.
Okay.
Daily Meditations for People of Color. And it was written by a lady called Iyanla Vanzant, an American woman. And it's like a devotional, so it's got a reading for each day of the year. And I bought this book many years ago when I had that breakdown, and it really helped me. One of the first pages of this book, was it January 1st? It wasn't January 1st, but basically when I read this book, someone is still talking about matchmaking. When I read this book, one of the things that that jumped out at me,
yes,
that I was not put on this earth to live up to your expectations. So don't live up to other people's expectations. Live up to your own expectations of yourself. What are your own, or try to identify what your expectations of yourself are. What do you expect of you? And make sure you live up to those expectations. That is where you will find your own standards. You don't live up to somebody else's standards. You live up to your own, you know. And I got that from this book here. Okay. So if you don't mind, do you mind if I read the one for today, which is the 15th?
Oh, well, why not? Why not?
Okay. So the one for today, which is the 16th of January, it is the 16th.
Yeah.
So this one was written by this one. So even though this book was written by Iyanla Vanzant, she invites several people to contribute to this book. And so the contribution for today is from Marilyn Omifunke Torres. And she says here, sitting in a sacred place means you must sit alone. And it goes on to say, there are times when we each have sacred blessings to learn. These are the lessons that will push us to the limit of our greatness. At these times, it may seem that others are abandoning, rejecting, or criticizing us without just cause. They are not. No matter how hard we try, we can't seem to do, say, or be what others expect of us. We can't. The harder we try to pull others to us, the further away they move. Okay? The more we try to fix things, the worse they seem to get. We must do what we must do at these very sacred times is pull back, withdraw, and prepare to grow. Our lessons are very sacred. They are the basic ingredient of our greatness. To accept them, we must be open. To receive them, we must be willing. To understand them, we must be alone. And the affirmation is, I am sitting in a sacred place whenever I am alone. I am sitting in a sacred place. So yeah, that's, you know, those, I love those little bites of advice, because there is no one way to live. No, there's no handbook in life, is there?
Yes.
So
yeah.
It's about making sure you identify your own standards and your own expectations of yourself and living up to those. Don't live up to other people's expectations, because you'll never get there.
And the more you try to pull people towards you, the more they move the more they move away.
Yes,
Those are true. Those are true deep words.
Very deep words. And this book, I'm also I very much like talking about mental health, and this book really helped me on my journey to understand myself. Because sometimes you can go through life blaming the world, when in fact you need to look at
you need to look inwards.
Yeah.
I'm meant to have done a show on mental health. So I'm still trying to put that together, looking for an appropriate person to help me with the discussion, or appropriate persons to help me with the.
I have a very good sister who's a psychiatrist, and she's done quite a lot. Is
she on Instagram?
She is, yes.
Yeah, so we can talk. So I could,
I'd like to reach out to her and see if she's able to do it as well. Because
yes, please, yes. Because people have sent messages to me that I should do something on mental health, but I've not been able to find the appropriate person.
I have two sisters, actually. I have a cousin, and also she's a mental health social worker as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can reach out and
So because it's really this lockdown really exposed a lot of things. It really exposed a lot of things. A lot of people suffered mental set and all that. Honestly.
Yeah. And it's unfortunate because, well, it's not unfortunate, but until I had my own breakdown, I would never really. I always knew there was a stigma attached to when you tell somebody in our community that depression. Back when I was growing up in Nigeria, anybody with mental health issues was a mad person.
It's a mad person now. The person is a mad person. So, and then your parents will be saying, don't mix with that person. No, that person is mad. Or if it comes to marriage, they say, they will say it in Yoruba or in Igbo, in whatever language. Don't go near that family, or they suffer from mental health.
That is
exactly.
And unfortunately, it sets the mind on a trajectory that could be very destructive.
Honestly.
Because until I broke down, I knew there was something wrong, but I couldn't articulate it, and I didn't want to talk about it. I would always sweep it under the carpet, and it did more damage. It does more harm than good when you just sweep it under the carpet. But it got to a point where I couldn't sweep it under the carpet any longer. It was now getting on top of me, and I needed to deal with that. So.
One thing about the brain is because that once it snaps to the other side, that person, one is finished, one will have to start taking medication.
It's amazing you should say that, because during the time I was going through it, I was working in IT, and I was working with a housing association, but in their IT department, and that housing association provided support and housing to vulnerable people in the community. So we're talking about women fleeing domestic violence, people with mental health issues, people with drug and alcohol dependency problems, learning disabilities, so those were our clients and our customers. When I started going through this, I decided that I didn't want a situation, because they asked me, I declared it to them at work, and they said, did I need to take time off? I said, no. So Monday to Friday, I'd do my day job. And because I knew hostel managers and accommodation managers in the mental health side of things, I used to ask if they would let me do shifts at the weekends, do shifts on Saturdays and Sundays, just because I didn't want to be, because my daughter was here, but I didn't want to be, I could have stayed home and stayed under the duvet and just been crying all day, and it would have been really, I think it would have just been a lot worse than it really was. But I used to go to a particular mental health hostel, and I would help them dish out the medication to them and all that. And there was this young lady, she was in her 20s, and she would go to her mother. She used to go to visit her mother every Sunday, and she'd come back in the evening around about 5. And she'd come back with her hair newly. She was very well dressed, hair done, nice makeup and all of that. And, you know, I'd say, so how was your mum today? And she'd say, oh, fine, I got my hair done and all this sort of stuff. But it got me thinking that actually this thing is a very thin line. And I could actually be on the other side of that line if I'm not careful. You know, it really kind of jolted my head, you know, to recovery, if you like.
Yeah.
Because I was really on that, it was a very slippery slope downhill.
Honestly.
You know, and people need to understand that, you know, you can actually, you don't need that. They did put me on medication, which I took for a month, but I just thought this medication thing is not really for me. You know, it made me feel worse, actually. You know, so it's a very slippery slope, and it's worth talking about it.
It is. It is. And then one also needs willpower to snap out of it, you know.
Oh my God.
Willpower, a lot of willpower. You need that willpower to snap out of it, because
first and foremost, I had to think about my daughter. Because I couldn't, I was struggling. It was a real struggle. I'm not good. When I think about it now, I'm so grateful to God. It was a struggle. Like, there was a point where I didn't want to get better.
You didn't want to get better?
There was a time I felt like I didn't want
to.
You know, I just wanted to stay where I was. You know, but I knew that I couldn't do that because I had a daughter who was looking at me, you know, who was worried and who loved me. Even at that point in time, I felt that nobody loved me. I felt I wasn't good enough. Everything that was wrong, I felt was wrong with me. So when you talk about confidence, it makes me laugh because I know where I'm coming from. You know what I mean? You know, and even now, there are times when I might feel a little, oh God, you know, have I done this good enough and all this. So, but you learn to cope with it. You learn, you know, to accept yourself. It's about accepting yourself, you know, for who you are, and embracing yourself and knowing that there's nothing wrong with you. You know, so yeah, it's worth doing it. It's worth.
Yes. Yes. So I'll be in touch with you to just follow you up to make sure that. Yeah. Wow. So, Bose, it's been nice talking to you. I like this picture of you.
Oh, that's just that. See that picture there?
Yes.
That picture, I took that picture probably in 2018, and I used the filter.
Okay.
Well, it was a selfie, and I didn't really. I was standing in front of the telly at the time, so you see those butterflies that you see on the side there.
Yes.
I used that to cover what was on the telly. On the telly was Poirot, so you could see Poirot's face behind those butterflies.
Yes.
So I used the butterflies to cover that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much for coming on to the show. You know, I'm happy that you agreed to be interviewed, because you know you have inspired quite a lot of people on this program today. I have quite a number of my friends on here that are been married before, single, that are not married, and you've really inspired them. The phone calls will come afterwards. Most times after my shows, I get phone calls saying that that person you spoke to, and you have really inspired us today, honestly. And I'm glad you came on.
Thank you for inviting me. Actually, I feel very honored to have been invited. No one has really ever interviewed me like that before, so cool.
Thank you. Thank you. So Bose, you know, I wanted to ask you, what's the link to your radio station? Ireti is asking, how do we get on the radio, please?
If you go to my Instagram,
okay, so your Instagram handle is Bose Koku.
It's Bose Koku.
Bose Koku.
Yes. BOSEKOKU. So on my Instagram profile, if you go to my profile, you'll see a link to the radio station there. And let me see if I can, in fact.
I had downloaded an app. You know, that I used to listen to your station.
Yeah, if you go to my profile, Bose Koku.
Yes.
Yes, at Bose Koku, you'll see it there. It's TuneIn or slamradio.co.uk.
Okay, she uses the app. Yeah, slamradio.co.uk.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm usually on Saturdays and Sundays from 2 to 4 p.m.
2 to 4 p.m. Okay.
Saturdays I do the Afro beats because you know I love me some Afro beats.
Yeah.
And then on Sunday it's a mixture of music, but music of African origin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So Bose, God bless you. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I've enjoyed it actually. Really good.
Yeah, same here. And our listeners too have enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you have quite a number of people that follow you. But Bumi.
Yes.
I use the app and the Slick too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also put the links on Facebook.
On Facebook, yeah.
And on Twitter as well. So
yeah.
But thank you very much.
Thank you. God bless you.
And you.
Bose, remain blessed.
And you.
And my love to your beautiful daughter.
Thank you.
Stella, I said, well done. And thanking her for making mommy proud and being a good, I'll use the word girl because she'll always be a girl to us.
Yes, she
so
will.
She's a lady now.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. God bless you.
You're welcome.
Have a lovely week. And to you, my listeners, my viewers, God bless you. Thank you for always tuning in to Adoni's Parlor. So I'll see you next Sunday. God bless you and have a good week. Bye. Bose, thanks a lot. Bye.